Supervising can be incredibly rewarding. Until that is, you run into a supervisee who is resistant, unethical, or just plain difficult. What do you do when someone won't take feedback, shows up unprepared, or worse, engages in unethical behavior? That's what we're tackling today. I'm Dr. MJ Rose, and I train mental health professionals just like you to be confident, competent supervisors. With decades of clinical supervision under my belt, both as a counselor educator and in my own clinical and disciplinary supervision practice, I've seen it all. From entitled students who thought they had nothing to learn, to scared professionals hiding behaviors out of fear, to those who would never be an ethical fit for the profession in the first place. This difficult clinician population is really small compared to all the other amazing and engaged folks out there. But preparation for the difficult ones will breed confidence in all your supervisory experiences. So today, I'm sharing key strategies for managing difficult supervisees without losing sleep. Plus, I'll give you a free Tough Conversations tip sheet to help you navigate the trickiest of supervisee situations. First, let's talk about the various types of difficult supervisees. There's the overconfident know-it-all who, in essence, resist feedback no matter what that feedback is. This type of supervisee likely was never challenged during their clinical program or has clinical peers, their equals, helping to boost their ego and confidence, sort of like the blind leading the blind. We also see the avoidant and disengaged. These folks fail to complete required tasks, come unprepared, are passive during sessions, or miss supervision sessions altogether. They likely had inconsistent and ineffective supervision and have not seen it as a valuable tool that is directly connected to their success as a counselor. The most worrisome is the ethically questionable clinician. These folks engage in behaviors that push ethical or legal boundaries, and usually that pushing is related to something that matters significantly to them. An example I recall is a supervisee who had received an undergraduate degree in nutrition, who felt it was appropriate in their role as a clinical mental health counselor to advise clients about what natural supplements to take to boost mood in place of their clients' prescribed medications. Now that's a scope issue with two components. First, although the clinician may have superb education in nutrition, nutritional counseling is not part of the clinical mental health counselor role. Second, it's outside of even a nutritionally educated clinician's scope to suggest a supplement over a prescribed medication. Now, I use this example as an illustration because it was the clinician's motivation to marry the two areas of expertise together as a way to distinguish themselves in the mental health market that was their motivation. And they had no intention of stopping that behavior and no willingness to hear about the ethical risks for themselves or for clients. So what do you do when you have such a difficult supervisee? Well, we start by setting clear boundaries and expectations early and often. Clarity prevents 80% of problems. Just like a treatment plan, a supervision plan is an agreement between the supervisor and the supervisee designed to clarify what the entire supervision process will look like and how components of long-term supervision will be managed. That means establishing clear consequences for missed deadlines, lack of participation, poor attitude, or unethical behavior. Clinicians generally have a difficult time setting hard boundaries, but allowing poor behavior creates high risk for future clients and for the clinician. Our job as supervisory gatekeepers to the various mental health professions is significant. By helping supervisees understand those gatekeeping responsibilities early and often, we can garner their commitment to changing poor behaviors. Now, people rarely change quickly, so that might mean having to reinforce expectations by revisiting agreements regularly. For some, that feels confrontational and challenging. So that's why I'm here. It doesn't have to be painful, but it is real. Here are some gentle confrontation strategies that work. First, get in the habit from the jump of giving direct, specific feedback with documented examples and actionable strategies for improvement. Provide timelines for when you will evaluate the improvement, how you will evaluate the improvement, and what the improvement should look like, and then follow through. Here's a pro tip. If you express a plan for improvement, set a tickler in your calendar to remind yourself to evaluate change and suggest your supervisee do so as well. Second, encourage self-analysis through self-reflection by using such phrases as "I noticed" or "I wonder if," because they tend to be gentler. Always follow up a challenge or a critique with a gentle expression of concern or curiosity to balance your feedback with their analysis of what is occurring for them. Third, avoid struggle. Although some supervision models are gentler than others, all models recognize that there is time for supervisors to be authoritative, if not fully authoritarian. Even with difficult supervisees, empathy and curiosity can really put out the flames of anger. So try to reframe confrontation as collaborative problem solving. You don't have to assert authority because you are the authority. There are ways to support and redirect difficult supervisees. Usually these folks have been formerly hurt or slighted by educators and other supervisors. They tend to function out of fear. Some may have even had a negative experience with you, and yet you don't know it. They haven't told you. So it's important to identify underlying reasons for resistance, such as fear, imposter syndrome, external stressors, or a relationship breach in supervision, such as loss of trust. Often, supervisors must be the ones to ask the difficult questions. There's an actual line of research in the counseling profession about what supervisees don't say because of their fear, shame, guilt, and anxiety. The crux of that research is about the role supervisors must play in asking the hard questions and having the internal fortitude to hear difficult things about ourselves. Ask the hard questions. Be ready to consider difficult feedback without defensiveness. And don't feel pressured to resolve every problem in one session, but make sure to get back to it. In the video titled "The #1 Factor That Makes You a Great Supervisor," I made some key suggestions for developing a supervision plan. If you haven't seen that video, you may want to watch it because it talks about supervision structure. Discussion of difficult issues can be a regular part of the ethical discussions that should occur during every session. And in that video, I talk about providing structured learning goals, clear expectations, and planning for extra support when needed. also talk about identifying clear skills and dispositions for clinical growth. So the lesson here is to encourage self-reflection by asking supervisees to evaluate their own progress related to specific skills and dispositions, not just receive your feedback. The most difficult part is to determine when to involve the licensing board, other supervisors, a student's academic program leadership, etc. And I have 2 clear pro tips for you here. Before you do any reporting, utilize an ethical decision-making model with your supervisee to work through all the potential options for resolving a difficulty. This will help you know when a situation goes beyond supervision and into formal reporting. You can learn a simple ethical decision-making model in our course, Confidence in Ethical Decision Making, and you can find the link to that course below. Second, understand mandatory reporting obligations for ethical violations. Depending on who you're supervising, that could mean reviewing an educational program's clinical handbook, reviewing your state's laws, rules, and codes, contacting a national association, or even reaching out to your human resources department if you're in an agency setting. For help right now, take a look at the report guidelines PDF below, and remember to like and subscribe for more great free content. But right now, if difficult conversations feel overwhelming, well, that just makes you normal. But you can do hard things, especially when you feel supported, which is our goal here at the Counselor Edge, to support the person behind the practice. Our goal, and I hope you will make it your goal, is to turn difficult conversations into gold. I was a steel fabricator before I became a clinician. I learned that the weld between 2 pieces of steel was stronger than the 2 individual pieces of steel. I keep that image in the back of my mind always. My job as a supervisor for difficult clinicians is to create a strong weld that bridges the gap between their questionable behavior and the clinician I know they can become. To learn more, remember to download our Tough Conversations tip sheet. Want more strategies to build your supervision skills? Watch the next video in the Supervision series titled Supervision Documentation Made Simple. It's linked below. And right now, enroll in our 30-hour cutting-edge clinical supervision course. It offers a free preview and video trailer. This 30-credit-hour NBCC-approved training course for supervisors covers 9 different supervision models with video demonstrations by yours truly, addresses supervisory relationship management, has lots more detail on structuring supervision, provides video of management of 3 types of supervisees from very easy to very difficult ones, covers documentation, and addresses management of liability and ethical concerns. It also includes an extensive free workbook you can easily use in the room to prepare for and work with your supervisees. And if you email us at info@thecounseloredge.com and include your favorite pro tip from this video, we'll send you a discount code so you can take the course at an amazing 50% off. Meanwhile, remember that you oversee your supervisees, whether it feels like it or not. So there's no reason to panic. You are the authority. You got this.